My name is Eggy Drago. I am the cream of the crop. I am the yolk on top. It was in early 2024 that I decided to go to an idol show in Japan on a whim because my graduated VTuber Oshi really liked idols. Needless to say, I got hooked. I think we like idols. After I met and talked to two English-speaking idols there, Hyria, Haigumi, I realized every single idol has a story, be it why they chase this dream, their ups and downs, and even their future after all this. And that's what I'm here to do, to give idols around the world a spotlight beyond the stage and a place to tell their story. Every idol has a dream and a story to tell. This is IDOLEYEZ.
Oop, I think we're live. I think so. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to IDOLEYEZ episode 82. Good lord, there's a lot of these. I am once again not Eggy Drago because he's currently in the Philippines, and I believe it is 6 in the morning right now, so he's not even awake. This should be
6
fun.
or 7.
Oh god.
I didn't just on purpose, you. I promise I can't remember if they're the same time zone as JST or not.
They're like 1 hour behind JST, so.
Oh, I thought they were ahead.
Close enough. Anyway, this is IDOLEYEZ. This is the #1 idol podcast on the planet Arrakis. I am your host, Ando, filling in for Eggy Drago while he is in the motherland. He literally just came back from like a 2 or 3 week trip in Japan. Bro literally went to a Taiban like every day of the week. But
IDOLEYEZ is sponsored by Yumi.
I'm pretty sure 90% sure he's going to get like searched by like customs because he like his proxy checky list or his proxy checky pile was like 500 checky big. So yeah.
My friend once brought a bunch of photo cards to a con to give out, and TSA did search him.
Oh my god. They're like, why do you have so many?
They're like, why is there this giant brick in your luggage? So, we hope that doesn't happen to you, but if it does, it'll be funny.
Yeah, they'll be like, why do you have like 500 different photos of the same girl? Oh boy. Hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, for those that are new to this whole podcast show thing, IDOLEYEZ highlights idols in the idol community, for everything from Chica idols to Kaiga idols and everything in between. If that sounds interesting, you can tune in not every week, but whenever I actually decide to host an episode until Eggy comes back, right here on twitch.tv/EggyDrago. If there's any part of the show you miss or you come in late, you can catch the VOD usually the next day on youtube.com/@idoleyez101. Once again, that is the @ idoleyez101. All right, with all of that out of the way, I should probably introduce my guest that's been sitting here for the past 15 minutes. They hail from the great state of Illinois. I believe like Chicagoland area, technically.
Yes, and thank you for not pronouncing the S.
I've genuinely like I've never met like anyone that seriously pronounced it Illinois. Like if they say
too many people, too many.
That's skill issue then, because I think that's like one of the earliest things you learn is it's Illinois. Okay. My guest is a costume designer. They are one half of the soon to re-debut Kaiga idol group Vivariia. They are your darling Vivariia. They are your darling Snidel, Fraga Saliagos.
Hello.
Welcome to IDOLEYEZ.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, I'm just sitting here. I'm the host. You're the guest. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I had today off, so there's that. Now I'm here.
And I know you've been very busy, like
Yes.
with all of this re-debut, I guess preparations. So, again, appreciate you taking time to come out on Idolize, and yeah, hopefully, like,
Mhm.
hopefully, if you guys haven't heard of Fraga or Vivariia like before, then hopefully this will hopefully this will galvanize you to tune into their re-debut, which is literally in 3 days.
Yes, on
So
Wednesday. Mhm.
so yeah. Um so to start off the show, I usually just go with, I guess, like the basic one, just, I guess, give me like the basic intro of, I guess, your life or just like
Okay.
how you are, yeah, just like give me like the overview.
I'm saying phrasing it as your life. It makes it very broad. I was born on September 2nd, 2003. Um, okay. And what would be important to being an idol? I'll start with my sewing background. And I'll move to like music from there. So sewing, I first mostly self-taught. My mom's mom helped me a bit, but most taught myself how to sew, starting at the age of 5,
Wow.
until about junior year of high school. I was completely self-taught. Then I did the sewing class, and I, was helping with that, getting college credit. And then I went to fashion school and just finished my certificate in May. uh, since about my sophomore year of college, I've been sewing outfits for Vivariia, back when we were a larger group. So, now I'm very excited to hopefully be able to make even more sets now that I'm not making them for as many members. Um, for my music background, I was in chorus in 5th and 6th grade, and then was in our middle school musical in 8th grade. So I don't have really that much professional training in singing. When I was in chorus, I was a soprano, and then once I left chorus, my voice dropped to an alto. So that's great. All that training out the window. Um, and then other musical training, I played viola 6th through 11th grade. So I can only read alto clef actually.
Wow.
And
That's very
then
specific. Yeah. So,
yes. Very viola specific. And then for I was a cosplay idol for I was in a group for only 2 performances we did, and then COVID happened, and then we just never did anything again. But I practiced a lot of songs that I never did. But one thing I did always when my group had lives is my solo. I always sang it as well as dancing, because I've always considered myself more of a singer than a dancer. Think
um,
that covers most of it.
yeah, definitely.
Mhm,
Wow, learning sewing at 5 is kind of crazy to hear, because I did
mhm.
not learn how to sew until 18 when I was actually starting to go to college for footwear
I
design. So,
I know a lot of people that did start learning in college that came in with just a design background, like
yeah.
not like a craftsmanship design background, but just a design background.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And I mean, um again, just like hearing like your background, but like cosplay and
Mhm,
musicals, it's definitely like no
mhm.
surprise, like I guess just why you eventually found yourself in the kai guy idol space. I guess just to build up off of that, what was, I guess, your what kind of music were you interested in? So both like Japanese or just like American music, like I guess what were some of your biggest influences growing up?
S- sorry, what in the most Kai Guy idol way I can say possible, Love Live. I I'd say that's probably like one of my biggest idol influences. Some of AKB48, and a lot of anime openings, a lot of the When They Cry openings, all 3 of them. Um, the Umineko openings are some bangers. Uh, I JoJo openings. A lot of Fate. I really like character songs. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a very VN, like visual novel fan thing to say is liking character songs, but I feel like in some ways it's almost like an idol solo song
Yeah.
at the same where it's like the exact, you know, um like it has the same like goals, ambitions in it. Usually they have a distinct sound in it. Someone saying Stand Proud cover one. I would cover Goodbye Nostalgia, but I don't think anyone wants that.
Hey, who knows?
Hmm. Oh, you might start crying. I don't know how much you know about JoJo's.
uh God, where did I leave off? My friend has been like literally pestering me to catch up for years, and yeah, no, I will get there one day. Don't worry.
Goodbye Nostalgia is Cat Kewing's character song, and it's sad.
Oh,
Say the
but
least.
no, I definitely understand that with character songs, especially because like a lot of them, again, it's literally in the name, character song. There's
Mhm.
very solid concept to it. Usually just one I guess just one singer or just like one vocal, so it's definitely a very personal type of thing. So have you performed any character songs, like I guess just in your career as an idol so far,
I have
or
not, but I really want to. When we were a larger group, we were very limited in what we could perform solo wise. Usually, just like it's just a time constraint thing.
yeah.
When you had 5 or 6 members, I we weren't really able to do stuff like that. It was kind of every person got one solo. You could maybe do a duet, depending on how long the con gave us. But I really want to. Some of the character songs that I want to perform next, I reached out. I'll say one of them, I reached out to the person that wrote it. And because I'm like, I just want to ask permission because I also want to do just an English cover of it. I want to perform it in Japanese, but I also want to do like an English cover for like YouTube or something. So I'm like, I just want to make sure that's okay. So depending on what he replies, we'll see.
Yeah, I hope that, I mean, that'd be cool. I hope that that turns out. Like I've heard of people like asking for permission. Oh, can I use your song? And then they're like, sure, here's the whole instrumental. Or just like,
Yeah.
yeah. So you'd be surprised how generous people will be when it comes to, I guess, just letting people cover music that they've written. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
uh, I guess like to follow up on that, I guess what inspired you to become a Kaigai idol in the first place, or just what made you transition from, okay, so you have the background as uh or sewing cosplays, designing cosplay, doing competitive cosplay, which I believe you mentioned to me before. I
Yes,
guess
yes, I Mhm.
yeah, what made you want to take that leap into more than just like the costume aspect of it, and like, oh, I actually want to perform in something that I designed, so to speak.
Yeah. So I gave up being a cosplay idol in early 2021. Sorry. When did I graduate high school? Um, no, early 2020. I mean, I stopped doing stuff, but then I officially gave up being like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not the right person for this in early 2022. I just felt like it wasn't something that my personality was cut out to be. I felt there's something wrong with my personality. No one wants to see me on that stage. And I felt that for about a year and a half. And then when I was studying abroad in Kyoto, um, I saw the Nijigasaki OVA, which focuses on a Kaigai idol that comes to Japan from England. And I'd stayed liking like Love Live and Nijigasaki in the background, but I was like, I can't do this. Um, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, you could do something like this. Maybe it was more in the back of my mind. And then it was the Gion Matsuri. Also, that it was also Sea Day, Umi no Hi, on the same day, and I was just having it was a day. I went out in my yukata and everything, and I felt pretty, but like all of my friends that were there with me were all over 20, and I turned 20 like like basically when we got back, and they were all like, "Oh, we're going out to drink. We're goodbye, good luck."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, I wanted to spend the festival with you guys," and then just some other stuff happened to ruined it. And then I was just sitting there, and then Nova texts me, going, "Do you want to join Vivariia?"
Just like out of the blue?
Yeah, basically just out of the blue. And that was back when it was just them and Melody. And I was like, maybe I'll think about it. And I very passively mentioned it to my host sister on the way back. And I was at home. We're eating dinner, and she was like, "Well, you bought all this Idol merch while you were here, so you're doing it." And I was like, "Well, I guess I'm doing it."
Oh my god, he got clocked in both directions. That's crazy. Um,
Because I emptied one of the rubber strap gachapon machines of the one of the Nijigasaki ones. And I told her about it, and she was like, "So you like idols?"
they
Mhm.
could they could definitely tell. How was that
Yeah.
experience, by the way? Just were you or you studied abroad in Kyoto the whole time, or did you move
Yes,
around,
it
or?
was it was Kyoto the whole time. I did visit Tokyo twice, once for um a cosplay event, Acosta, and then the other one I kind of just did like a pilgrimage where I went to um like all the places in Nijigasaki. The name of the garden is completely like blanking on me now, but the garden that the Ushiromiya mansion is based off of, I visited that as well. And then Akihabara, and then all of that. I did all of that in one day
What?
because it was it's 3 hours away by bullet
Yeah,
train.
yeah.
So, like, it's not exactly easy to get out there when I had school all the weekend. I definitely spent a lot more time in on my weekends in Nagoya and Osaka. Um, and, in Osaka, you will occasionally, I only saw them once, but you'll occasionally see, like, idols performing.
Mm, yeah. I mean, like most people don't really think of Osaka as having much of an idol presence. I mean, besides obviously like like the massive like 48 group system type of thing. But like yeah, that's a thing. Like all like other there's idols that exist outside of just Tokyo. So
Yeah.
um
Like, there definitely isn't. I know there is some in Kyoto, but I've just never seen them. Like, I know they exist, but I know Osaka is definitely like a bigger spot for them. Definitely the biggest like Kansai region spot.
I mean yeah, tracks definitely.
Yeah,
So how long were you there for? Just like a year or
about a month and a half.
oh wow. So yeah,
Yeah,
you tried to like soak in as much as you could very fast.
yeah, I do very quickly. That's why I was also like, I loved Kyoto, so I was like, I don't want to leave that much.
Yeah, no. That like especially the first was that the first time you visited Japan or had you like
Yes, and I'm saving up to go back and
yeah, no,
hopefully
that's
perform while there is my goal.
yeah, that's a I mean, honestly, that's a great goal cuz I mean, there's just off the top of my head, I only know maybe like 2 or 3 Kaigai idols that have performed in Japan. So, like it's not an impossible thing, I'd say, but it's definitely something that's a bit rare. So yeah, definitely like that'd be really cool to see because I know uh especially like speaking of Eggy, like I feel like you're able if you're able to sort of build that connection, you kind of like have people that are like dedicated fans, like even if they're like halfway across the world. So yeah, no, that honestly be a cool opportunity for you. Uh, so um I guess following up on that, uh, so were you really only doing stuff like Kaigai Idol stuff with Vivariia, or were you like balancing it with solo, or some type of mix of the two?
I did a few solo performances under Vivariia, but I didn't do like a solo outside of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like when I would go to Katsucon, I would perform there or ClassiCon Prime. since the others aren't, because I'm like, I'm there, I'm gonna perform, I'm gonna get our name out there, you know, even if it's just a solo performance.
So I guess we can sort of go into like the history of Vivariia because you said it was just like maybe like two or three members prior to you joining, and now it's such an interesting, I guess, sort of
Thank
like
you.
arc. So that it's like it
Mhm.
went from like two to like something like six people or whatever,
Yes.
and then
Um,
yeah, back to two. Like yeah, that's are usually like I guess like the arc of most I guess idol groups is they'll usually just either add members or just go their separate ways completely. But this is kind of a re-debut or kind of in a
mhm,
way almost going back to I guess the origins of the group. So
mhm.
um so how much of that or like yeah, so you can go into I guess like what I guess that experience was like for you having first joining, like performing, being in all these
Mm.
different permutations of the group, and eventually just preparing for this, I guess, just reimagining of uh the group.
Yeah, so Vivaria started in early 2022 with sorry, late 2022 with just Nova and Melody. And then they had a song, but they didn't do anything with it at that point, and they didn't have outfits or anything for it at that point. It was very in the air when they would start doing stuff. And then Nova asked me to join in on I want to say it was July 21st, sounds correct. Um, and if I'm wrong, the fact that I have a very specific date and it's wrong is pretty embarrassing. Um, but and then it was supposed to kind of stop from there. Monochrome Wing was going to stay the two of their song because I couldn't. Ramen Khan was close enough once they asked me to do it that I couldn't do it, and it made more sense to have the angel and the butterfly have a song titled Monochrome Wing and not the snails in there and
Oh,
swingless, you know. Um, so there was that, and then we Melody wrote Lilium, which was going to be our first trio song, and was our first trio song, as well as our first single. And we Melody wrote Nightlight before Noel and Indigo joined, but they joined late November, that same in 2023, and we decided we'll turn Nightlight into a five-person song because we're gonna need a five-person song at this point. And we debuted as a group of five at ASIN in 2024 on the community stage in the Idol Fest that they held there. In um, November of 2024, Indigo was not able to go to ColossalCon North due to their work schedule, so Dahlia stepped in for them. And stuff happened at that con, and we went, Dahlia, you need to be our emotional support. So Dahlia went from like a trainee member, a temporary member to just permanent. So that happened. That was not supposed to happen. Um it was AK I we bonded over AKB48 a little too quickly, so I was very game for it. But was not supposed to happen, but it did. We were very happy it did. And then Uh, we wrote, we did stuff together. Gwen was Dahlia's roommate, so they were helped as a manager due to that. Now that Dahlia is no longer coming up for cons and they're no longer roommates, Gwen, that's just a reasoning for them. But we had Onward we debuted that in at Magic in 2025, and then um, we decided earlier this year that Melody and Dahlia got an apartment together, and they decided they don't want to do Pega idol activities or just idol activities anymore. And Indigo and Noel decided that they would rather do independent cosplay idol activities, not in a group, just whenever I have inspiration to do a live, let's do that. And Nova and I decided we're just going to continue with this, and we're just going to take this opportunity to have a re debut and change some things we kind of been wanting to change.
Yeah. So yeah, that I mean, as you explained it to me before, like it's a lot, but it doesn't seem like very tumultuous or like I guess just very negative in a way. Like obviously, yeah, like things
Yeah,
like
it's all like
lives happen or like things happen in your personal life and priorities change. So it's like
yeah,
it's it's like you've lived
it's
like a century within like the past like 2 to 3 years alone.
it it feels, and to our fans, I'm sure it also felt for us with some stuff very sudden, but at the same time, it was, Melody and Nova started this group when they were 18. I joined when I was just about to turn 20. Um, and now at this point in their lives, we're in our about early mid 20s now. We're also kind of, we're at that point in our life where we have to go different ways. Life is going to pull us different ways at this point in
Yeah,
our life. It's not anything anyone did. It's just, oh, I finished college. I have to move here. Or I got this job. I have to move here. The Midwest is very big. And I don't think, like, for example, um, Dahlia and now Melody live 6 hours from me.
still in Illinois. Is that
So
still in Illinois or?
it's still in Illinois.
Good lord.
Illinois is a very long state. Um, so with jobs and everything and adding that distance, it's very difficult to be like, should we keep going as a group or do I just want to live in my little apartment with my cat? You know, sometimes the cats win,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of surprised my cat hasn't shown up yet.
But I mean, yeah, that's definitely, especially with upwards of 6 members. I can only imagine how difficult it'll be to be like, okay, we're performing here. Like, how is is everyone's schedule free? Who's in? Who's not available? Okay, if you're not available, who's taking your line? Like that. Like there's
Yeah.
that. There's definitely like a lot of moving parts to try and sort of come to terms with just to get a single performance off the ground. So, um, I mean, in that sense, like it seems like you, when you still had a bunch of those, like 6 members, you guys did a pretty good job of like compartmentalizing. Okay, this person's doing music. This person's, I guess, just choreography. You were doing a lot of the costume design
Mhm.
aspects of it. So, what I guess in that sense, what it are how different is it to sort of make costumes for yourself versus for other people? Is that like does that change your approach in any way or um
I
yeah.
definitely feel like I spend a lot more time patterning for other people. However, I will say at this point, all of my blocks that I make the pattern from is in my size or practically my size. So I will say that's definitely also part of it. With different people, I also definitely I'll have to stop and take breaks, and be like, okay, I have to stop. I cannot finish the waistband of this skirt until Nova tries it on and makes sure that it fits perfectly because, like, for example, with these outfits, they lay, instead of laying at the waist with an elastic waistband, they lay at the hip with a zipper. And that's a lot kind of unforgiving with the size on it. So be like, okay, I have to stop there. Or, okay, I have the lining done for this bodice, let me stop there and have them try on the lining before I cut out everything, and then it doesn't fit, and
Yeah.
then I have to order more fabric. So there's definitely that. When it's myself, I can just go, oh, let me try it on. But I definitely learn different techniques. I'm very appreciative that I've learned to sew for a lot of different body types. I feel like in fashion school in general, I know you did shoe wear, but I think you probably could agree with this.
Yeah.
You pretty much only sew sample size.
Yeah, basically. So,
So you only learn one type unless you do a specific class for it, or you're given a model that like they're like, "Oh, here's this," like you're not it's not really taught to you.
Yeah.
So it's something that I'm very appreciative that I've had the chance to teach myself with so many different people.
Yeah. And I mean, uh, that I'd say like that's just as important because yeah, a lot of I especially know from like friends that are um like very into cosplay that or people that are
Mhm.
looking to like purchase Japanese style clothes or jidaike or like whatever is like, oh, this looks really nice but it's not in my size or like something like that.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's definitely like a useful skill to be able to be like, oh, okay, I might fall out of like the normal radius of whatever this is, but
Mhm.
I can just make my own. I mean, like
Mhm.
that was like that was half like the cope that I told myself, yeah, if I can't get all of these rare and expensive sneakers, I'll just make my own. And I haven't touched a sewing machine in God knows how many years. But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
um
Mhm.
so were you involved in any part of the songwriting process, or was that mostly other members?
So Monochrome Wing are solos. Lilium and Nightlight were all written by Melody. And then Onward was a collaboration between Melody, me, Dahlia, and Nova. Nova came up with how the melody sounded, and then the rest of us wrote the lyrics around that. And kind of Dahlia and Melody figured out more how it sounded. I more just wrote the lyrics. And then now for our re-debut song, Pisu, I wrote all of the lyrics.
Oh wow. Um, that's and yeah, I guess that's obviously again like the like I mentioned, whereas a lot of these different roles were I guess spread out
Mhm,
amongst more people, whereas now it's just you and Nova, and yeah,
mhm,
you definitely kind of have to like take on a bit more than you were before. But I mean,
mhm.
it from what it sounds like, yeah, you enjoy the costume design aspect of it. You enjoy writing lyrics, so um you know, is there anything besides that you're taking a different approach to with this re-debut versus, I guess, just how you would operate under the previous lineup?
Um, I will say I'm completely redesigning our booth setup for all cons. I'm not gonna spoil what it looks like, so I'm going a little bit more of a direction with that. But I wouldn't say that's something that we couldn't have done before. It's just something we didn't do. That makes sense. I will say, um, from now on, because so for those of you on the coast, you might not think of the issue of getting multiple mics as being something very strong. It might be, oh, cons easily have 5 mics for every stage. Here they don't.
Nah, no, 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 that's not even just a coast thing. Like I learned the hard way at Idol
Yeah.
Village last weekend how difficult it
Mhm.
is to get. Shout out to Milk Soda. There's a lot of them, but no, like trying to figure out how to get six wireless mics working was definitely driving up my stress levels a bit.
Yeah. So, now that we only have 2 of us, we have came to the decision that we will always sing live from now on.
Oh,
It's been something we've been wanting to do, but sadly, with 6 and 5 people, it's very difficult to do,
yeah,
especially the cons we're at.
yeah, and like obviously like everyone wants to sing live, but
Mhm,
especially with like big groups, it's very hard. Your sound check might be like a couple minutes. It's very hard to sort of like get all that figured out
mhm,
beforehand, and not to mention, just like divvying up lyrics for that many people it can get
mhm,
complicated. So yeah, that's cool in a way. It's sort of like freeing you up to do more live, I guess more of an intimate performance in that sort of way.
mhm.
um so I guess building off of that, uh I guess just so we sort of have a good understanding of, like, I guess, like, what your role has sort of become in this new
Mhm.
two-person idol group. What, I guess, like, what's Nova basically been in charge of for a re-debut?
So, Nova is the creative director for everything. They do all of the editing and, what a creative director does. That's along with all of the editing. And then they also do the choreography because
Ah,
they have a dance background and specifically, just regular dance background as well, but they also have a lot more of an idol dance background than I do. So they do a lot of the choreography as well.
that's cool.
Sometimes
Uh,
I just go, I can't do this.
I mean, and I'm sure, like, on their end, it's probably a lot easier to choreograph for two people as opposed to.
Yeah, it is. Some stuff is upsetting because there's some parts where it was like, oh, Fraga's so short. Let's do like this specific move so we perfectly cover that. And now it's like, oh, we can't have literally everyone
Yeah,
cover me anymore.
nowhere to hide with just two people.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, uh, obviously, like, yeah, it seems like you're definitely more in tune with, I guess, just the singing side of the performance. But, you know,
Mm.
I guess just how has your, like, dancing skills developed? From the very start of Vivariia to now, where you guys are about to re-debut. Like, was it hard to pick up? Like, because I know, like, you mentioned you did musicals before, but it's always like remembering choreography is definitely very difficult. Trying to do that
Mhm.
while singing is nigh impossible. At least from my
Yeah.
experience.
Oh,
So
so how I now that we choreograph our own songs, I find songs that we choreograph ourselves, it's significantly easier for me to memorize because it's kind of, we're working through it, we're breaking down. Before, I was kind of just putting the mirror on and running through the entire thing just full. And that's great for getting your stamina up. That's not great for practicing efficiently.
mhm.
And now I definitely know how to practice efficiently, like, break down the intro, get the way that I was practicing before as a cosplay idol, I could never have performed Yume wo Kakeru. It is to I don't know how familiar you are with Uma Musume. Um, the dance for that, if you are the center, is very difficult.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like all of Uma Musume's choreography is just very difficult in general. So
Many Shuki is not that bad. But with Yume wo Kakeru, you're like, oh, this is a Teo Center.
Um, but yeah, no, I feel like that's always been, like, I guess, just the most interesting part of, I guess, just Kaigai idol or Japanese style music to me is you get to um there's really not much you're hiding in that sense where you're just like, okay, I might not be the best at this, but over time, like, you're understanding choreography better, trying to practice more efficiently. um
Mhm.
do you feel a similar way with uh I guess just singing, or did your background already sort of give you a good, like, idea of, like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to be approaching, like, singing as an
I
idol?
definitely learned a lot, especially from Nova in singing. Nova is a very good singer and has a very large range. So even though they are a mezzo soprano, they've been able to give me a lot of tips and like just a lot of advice, different warm ups, different practice techniques so that I can hone down my skills as an alto. Because also, just middle school choir isn't that advanced in general. So, on top of the training that I had as a soprano, it wasn't much. So, I definitely got a lot of advice from that. I will say, Sherry Ife has given me some advice too throughout the years on how to better handle my range. Some just watching her, watching other idols perform, see how they do stuff on stage, seeing where they take their breath breaks. practicing where you're going to take your breath breaks, I feel like is also a huge thing as an idol, because especially because you're singing and dancing, you don't realize when you're just singing. It's like if I'm performing my solo, I can do the entire ending thing in one breath.
Mhm.
But when I'm running up and down stage on the little catwalk, no, I can't.
Yeah, it's a lot more taxing than some people can realize, and it's why very few performers do both, like live choreography and live singing. It's because it's very taxing. But no, I guess that's definitely one of the things I've come to appreciate is that you're basically it's a very difficult task, and yet some idols just make it look so effortless. So
Mhm.
um that's always just a cool thing to see, and definitely shout out Sherry Ife. Love all of her work. I've gotten to see her perform at like Otakon, at an Idol Village. So yeah, definitely somebody that's very good to learn from. I guess I guess I could sort of like build up on that. How I gue- so like basically I've my knowledge of I guess Kaigai idols is very limited to just Northeast and maybe some stuff like on the West Coast. How is the Kaigai idol scene in the Midwest aside from or even including the people I know? So obviously like Shetty Ife, Biddy, like
Mhm.
uh is it hard for you guys to sort of get opportunities at cons or hold standalone events? Like how I guess just how how's the growth been in the Midwest specifically?
It definitely is improving, but when we started, it was very difficult. There's still a lot of cons that don't see a purpose in having they're like, "Oh, we'll have an idol festival on the community stage, and one of you can run it as a panel." Or, "Oh, we'll have an idol festival, but no one gets discounts on any badges except for the person running it." Um, when I came to learn very recently that on the East and West Coast, giving the idols completely free badges is just considered the bare minimum. And that was a huge culture shock, I'll say that for the least. We're getting to running standalone events. Um, Affection Refraction was the first standalone idol event, at least to my knowledge, in the Chicago area. There were a few in the Midwest before, but that's like the big one that was very successful. And I know they are trying to host, because it was very successful, hosting a lot more in the future. And, I've heard a few people are doing 1 month now because, like, for example, Sherry Ife, they're doing, they're going to do a 1 month outside of a con in Chicago. And at least that's how I took their Instagram post. If I was reading their Instagram post wrong,
For legal purposes, I cannot say anything.
I'm like, if I
Unless I
read
want.
their Instagram post wrong, I'm so sorry.
I,
That's
no. Just like unless I want Ashes, aka John Wodo Sans Frontiers, to send an orbital strike at my house. I cannot say anything, but Shetty is definitely one of the people. I guess just sort of trying to spearhead more standalone events. In the Chicago area, yeah, and she's spoken at length a bit of like, oh, this is or seeing all of these standalone events happen in like LA or New York or DMV, like, oh, I kind of want to bring some of that home to Chicago. So, yeah, I mean, that definitely be a cool. And I feel like having standalone events definitely it kind of frees you up a bit in a way. Compared to, I'm not sure how much you've experienced this, but the set list that you're picking for an anime convention is very different than the set list you'll be
yes.
performing at a standalone idol event where you don't feel like, oh, I have to sort of like match the audience, so to speak.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
Oh,
monster.
hello.
Hi, Pokeball.
Don't worry,
Uh, this is
we love pets on
my
Idolize.
cat. My cat Pokeball.
Oh. Um.
He'll be joining. But yes. Also, I feel like you get, on general, in a standalone event, you also get more time.
Yeah. And
And at like cons, they're like 7 or 10 minutes, and then at standalone events, it's like 15 to 20.
and
Maybe sometimes more, but
yeah, and also I guess just though I mean it seems like you guys have been lucky that like I assume like Ascens chill with you. Okay, you have your own booth that you can like do Bupon and like run sort of like me.
there is no Bupon stuff at ASIN.
Ooh, yikes!
ASIN does not have an official Idol Fest.
Oh,
Magic
for
will
legal purposes,
sometimes,
I cannot say anything either.
um, but a Magic will let the idol have a small Bupon. Colossal Con North is one of the few cons that let you have a true Bupon. At some cons, like Magic has a creators corner, so we do a booth throughout the entire weekend for that. And Ramen Con will do a booth for the entire weekend through that. So like also our Bupon booth is definitely gonna have like a different, easier setup than like a full weekend one.
Yeah,
My
and
cat is on my tail.
and I'd say like that's definitely one of the hardest things with cons is that it's very hard for you to sort of like make the investment like worthwhile or
Mhm.
especially if you're having to pay for badges, especially if you're only getting maybe like, you know, 5 to 10 minutes for a set,
Yeah.
and then not being able to sort of like offset that with like, doing checky, selling merch, or just even getting to like having a chance to just meet people. It definitely seems a lot harder in a con environment versus, a typical standalone event. So
Definitely.
yeah, I mean, like, even here on the East Coast, like, it can definitely feel like a bit of an uphill battle, with conventions to sort of, I guess, begin to respect, or I guess the amount of work and the amount of thought that goes into idol performances. Anime Boston, but yeah.
I'm like, I just checked the chat for a second, and that's just what I see.
Oh boy! Shout out to the Warda Gay meetup that happened at Anime Boston that may or may not have had a few idol performances, but yeah, no, and that's I've always been a proponent of more standalone events, not feeling like you have to be just so attached at the hip to
Mhm.
anime conventions. It's eventually you're gonna outgrow it, so um yeah, it's I it sucks that like I haven't been to the Midwest yet for like any idol
Mhm.
performances or any Taibons, but it's definitely on my list. Like I definitely would love to, you know, help put together something in Chicago or, other parts of the Midwest. Cuz it does feel like even on like the I guess like the fan or like the wotage or just like the I guess the attendee side, there's a lot of people that have or sort of like been communicating like, hey, we love seeing all of these events on like the East Coast and the West Coast. Why can't we get any of that love in the Midwest? And yeah, no, like specifically like I'm thinking of like one person, their like Twitter username is like Chicken Okabe. I'm not sure if you're
Oh,
familiar with him.
Okabe, we love Okabe in this
Yeah, no,
house.
he's been like one of like I guess just like loudest proponents of it. We have to build up the Midwest Idol community. Love that guy. So yeah, no, it seems like
I think the chat likes Okabe.
shout out Okabe, but and like yeah, I'm glad that like Magic and Asen are giving you guys your space to perform as well. But yeah, I mean, I'd say that's definitely something that would be cool to see down the line. Speaking of, I guess just performances, where are you guys making your first, I guess, official re-debut like performance at?
So I can't say that yet.
Oh God, not yet. It's
Sadly.
not public.
Um, so I can't. Yeah. Um, but what I can say is that we will have something that might make up for it.
Ooh.
Possibly being a while, hopefully not a lot. For Pisu. hopefully, as well as the EP dropping on YouTube on Wednesday.
Ooh.
Watch as it now gets pushed back to Thursday, but that's besides the point.
No, I guess in that case, is there anything that you could sort of, I guess, go further into maybe just like the concept of Pisu, and or I guess like maybe just like the besides what besides like the 10-second clip that you guys put out. You got to give me some of the
Besides
work
the
here.
conversation on Twitter. So, I got inspired. I'm sorry. This is like it's just very funny saying this very straight out. So, whenever I'm really sad, when they cry finds a way to come back to me.
I mean, it's
And
literally on
usually
the title.
it's on the title, and maybe this January it was Denden Mushiwa Denden Mushiwa. Denden Mushi no Nakukoro ni. Maybe the snails were crying, and maybe I pulled up Steam and just decided let me replay Kakonia for the 20th time because phase two never happening. And um you have not played it, correct? Or have you played that one?
No, I have not. It's been sitting in my Steam library for 4 years.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to explain this with as minimal spoilers as possible.
Appreciate it.
Um, but can I spoil one thing?
Go for it. I
Okay.
probably won't even
So
understand.
you so Tomitake is the main character's dad.
Mm.
Okay, you already knew that. Good. Um, and so what I first got inspired to write Pisu off of, there's a conversation that they're having in this cafe, and they're talking about like destiny and like being controlled by another person. And I got inspired to write the bridge of Pisu based off that line. And another line in the like one of the last scenes in the game so far that I will not be elaborating on because I have a feeling it will end up being very like I have a feeling it's going to become a lot more of a spoiler later down the if my theory is correct. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more of a spoiler. But I took the idea of that conversation, like both of them, and just the general concept of a time loop, and kind of wrote the song based off that. And the concept is feeling like someone else's pawn in their game and then taking control from it.
Honestly, that's really cool. Sort of a concept, and no, that's the beautiful part of just finding inspiration for, I guess, just whatever
Mhm.
whatever you want your music to be. So whether it be inspired by a visual novel or like events going on in
Yep.
your life or all three or
Mhm.
like stuff like that, yeah, that's honestly cool that you're just putting, you're putting that much of yourself into your music. So
Mhm.
um, uh, whenever phase two comes, Peacemaker. Oh
Good for
Lord.
you. Good for you, because she started writing because of this. I would be so honored. He has when I was a cosplayer, I was in a fan scene and he did leave a very kind note over my Meow cosplay. Um, so I'm not saying it's impossible, but I very highly doubt it.
All right. Usually at the end is where I throw in the like future goals and ambitions. So we're going to get you. We're going to get you on. We're going to get you on the soundtrack for the next part. Correct.
Okay, sure, totally. It's
We're
like
gonna,
this. I will say,
you're gonna make a character song.
if yeah, I was gonna say, like, most idols are like, I want to voice an anime opening. I mean, if I could voice the opening, if I could do the opening for phase two, that would be great. But I'd love to do one of the character songs. Um, trying to think of who doesn't have one right now. Um, I feel like Gunhild probably has a deep voice. Don't ask me to do a Swedish accent. I'm not doing that. But there's characters I can definitely do a character song for.
And yeah, I mean,
Put
I
me
think
in, coach.
I'm trying to think. Do I know of any visual novels that have sort of like reached out to just fans or like I guess
Mhm.
not like traditional like Seiyu or just like any song type of people. Um, Speaking of, I just curious, what other visual novels are you a big fan of besides When They Cry?
Um, yeah, big on When They Cry. All of Fate. Um, all of Fate, including Tsukihime,
Hmm.
Garden of Sinners. Just the entire Nasuverse. Um, the one Steiner translates. Um,
You can say the name of it. We're not.
I admittedly I like rants.
There's no shame in that. There's absolutely no shame in that.
No. They did put it on Steam.
Yeah, if it's on Steam, that's fine.
I'm just I have for context, I have the chat as a giant on my on my TV, sorry, completely zoomed in so I can just barely read it with my terrible eyesight. Um but sometimes I'm just looking over and seeing the chat and laughing. Hello, Lucia. Yes. I will say, um, for Fraga does come. Are you familiar with Fate Stay Night?
I mean,
And stuff?
like basic overview level
Okay.
stuff. I mean, because I've
Okay, so you would not know this character, but there is a character who I adore that no one cares about
oh
because her
no,
story will never get animated. Named Bizette Fraga McCremitz, and I have been going by Fraga for years just because I love that character so much.
this is gonna get me to this is gonna get me to actually like take the plunge into Fate. Just watch. You're not gonna see me for the next 6 months. Sorry, Ashes. I
Well,
can't. I can't commit to any one of
I'm
Sun's
consuming
Frontier.
the entirety of the Nasuverse.
Because I mean, like I've tried back before it was actually like easy to play it. Like before you could just buy it on Steam, even though everyone's complaining about the translation. I tried playing the fan translation version, and then I was just like, wait, this is kind of too
I
big brain
I
for me.
also I also have the fan translation version, and let's just say there was a lot of clicking through a lot of scenes and just spamming the button, just waiting for them to be done.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, like as you mentioned, there's a lot of stuff that just won't get animated. But hey, who
Mhm.
knows? Maybe Ufotable will lock in. Maybe Ufotable will call you
Everyone's
to do.
saying there was a remake.
Maybe Ufotable will call you to do the OP
Do the
song.
opening.
So I guess in that sense, are there any like other just goals or I guess just uh things that you had in mind that you wanted to accomplish, both just like as a personal thing and as um you prep for this, I guess, just reimagining of Vivariia.
Mhm. Um, so like goals for the re-debut, I definitely this will be our first EP as well. Prior to this, we've only released singles. So I want this to be our most successful release yet, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I definitely I want if I could you know how like K-pop idols have people do dance challenges?
Yeah, yeah. So you want
I
people to
really
do like
if
like
people would
Hisu
do
dance
I
challenge.
feel like I feel like I would like feel so honored if someone did that, if that makes any sense. Like it's not just us dancing to our own songs to promote it. It's someone else did it on their own volition. Someone else learned it.
Yeah, and honestly, that's something I'd love to see sort of leak into to like Kaigai idol culture as well. Yeah, but just because I mean it's actually, or I feel like that's how people find like 90% of their music like nowadays is just
Yeah,
like, oh wait, what is this? What song are they using for this TikTok? Oh wait a second, hold on, this is good. Let me look up that group, and so and then you
what
just
is it?
skyrocket from there. That's how New Jeans got
Uh,
popular.
yeah, like I can't remember if the English part of it is like collision or collide. I want to say it's collide. I don't remember what the Korean part of it is, but like that Stray Kids B side, I never heard of it before, and now people are doing a dance challenge to it when it was released like 5 years ago. I mean, I Indigo like only just got me into like Stray Kids and stuff last year. She held me down and forced me to get into them. It was very forceful. Um, but so like I wasn't there when they released it. So it's my first time hearing this, and I'm like, this song was released like what, like 5 years ago? This is a banger. So I feel like it's also definitely a way to like get into new music, but also get into old music.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, same thing happened with same thing happened with AOA miniskirt. Like that suddenly just
Yeah.
started popping off as a TikTok thing. And I'm just like, wait a second. Most of you guys were like in elementary school when this came out. What do you mean you're
Well, good thing they didn't do it then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What other K-pop groups are you interested in? Just curious.
Um, I'm definitely like very minimal in what I do. So I Stray Kids, I like Universe, One Verse, um, Unis, uh, somewhat of Twice, and then it's been a very sad week, month for us Cat's Eye fans.
Oh Lord.
Um,
Enough
it's
enough said about that, unfortunately.
been I also like Girl Set, so it's been not as depressing of a week for that. Um, I'm definitely very new to getting into that stuff. It's yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's always like the coolest. I mean, that's why I like idol groups like Cat's Eye and Girl Set,
Mhm.
Vicha before that,
Yeah.
where it's you're taking like a specific genre of music and just making it in English essentially, and
Mhm.
that's a lot of what Kaigai idol music is. It's just okay, you're taking this Japanese J-pop style music, idol. You're taking all these elements of idol culture and just sort of translating it into something that more people will be able to understand. So
Mhm.
yeah, and that's or going back to my days as a K-pop podcaster, that was always like the dream of like, oh, I'd love to see people be able to get into this easier if like you know it's more than just like Korean or Asian people that are just making this type of music, and much in the same way, that's been the coolest part of getting into this whole like Kaigai idol scene is yeah, it's kind of the same concept where people are sort of finding ways to filter what they're influenced by, whether that be um, you know Love Live or like VTubers or idol groups or Chica idol stuff, like finding
Mhm.
their own way to sort of filter that and create something out of it. So uh, I guess on that note, are there any artists that you'd like to collaborate with? Kai Guy, not even just Kai Guy, just like anyone. That'll just like, why not?
Um,
Pie in the sky dream.
yeah. Um, I'll name um man, there's a few. For I'd love to collab with Sherry Ife for one. I feel like everyone does, but just I love her style of music. I love how she writes her lyric. I just love her.
Yeah,
So I'd love to collaborate with her.
she's easily one of the best lyricists in I guess the
Yes,
whole
yeah.
Kai Guy scene. So yeah, I can definitely
And
understand your
also,
admiration.
I'd also love to design for her. So it's like if we collab her, I'm like, oh, I have to make you an outfit for that, of course. Um, yes, we are all Sherry stands. I'd love to also collab with Cheery Girls, an excuse to do cheerleader outfits.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, Paida. I feel like I feel like I'd have so much I could learn from her through that experience, and we can have a planetarium now. Um, so there's always that. Um, but like I feel like I could she's so nice and I feel like I could learn so much from her. And just also just another person I'd love to design for. Rin Rin as well. Rin Rin is super nice and I'm so when we first met Rin Rin, they were um they didn't have any originals, they didn't have a persona. They performed as they were just doing Aya from Bandori, but like still singing the songs.
Hmm.
And I loved how they sing. I love how they dance since then. But seeing how much they've grown, I'm like, I want to
Yeah,
grow
just
with you. Mhm,
their originals are just incredible.
mhm,
Like writing everything, like a lot of it in Japanese too, is just
mhm,
amazing. Like love this or just another person that I was just like what, like mind blown the first time I ever saw them perform.
mhm.
But yeah, no, definitely. I mean, no promises, but I mean, like, I definitely love to see you collab with Cherry Ife. My
Yes.
my 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 unofficial like tagline for One of Suns from Tears is that can be arranged. But no, that definitely I will move heaven and earth to try and see that happen. Like
Mhm,
that'd actually be really cool.
mhm,
And I guess just before we wrap up, final question:
mhm.
why snail? Why did you come up with like snail as your, I guess, just your concept, or I guess your avatar, so to speak? Because it's a very
So,
unique sort of thing. Like usually
mhm,
people pick like, oh, I'm like a dog, or oh, I'm like very cat like, or oh, I'm, I don't know, like a fish or something like
yeah.
that.
No, yeah. I feel like usually you have mammals to start
Yeah.
with. Um, or bugs or just not mollusks. I've seen one person that's a sea bunny, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize that's a mollusk. A sea bunny is a sea slug.
Yeah.
Um, I've well, for one, I've always loved snails. Ever since I was in kindergarten, I've always adored them. I used to have a mystery snail named this chair after the scene in Tsukihime, and then we just kept adding names to him, but I'm not gonna his name I don't even remember his full name. Um, but his name was this chair or Chi for short. Um, and I've always no, you could never tell. But I actually found my mom pulled it out. We found the little like reindeer um food that you used to like make in like kindergarten or like first grade or something, and I drew snails all over it. Uh, it but I've al I've always loved snails, but I've also always really loved aquatic snails specifically. I just find they usually have like really weird. They're just weird.
Yeah.
Um, so like I guess like ram's horn snails specifically, they will put a bubble in their shell and just float to the top of the tank and then crawl on the underside like they're Jesus in reverse, like they're walking on the air. That's your I think that was the ram's horn fact I posted for today. Um but they're but also no one's done a snail before, you know? So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a snail," and then I was picking up my image color, and I was thinking of a few characters, and I was like, "Okay, well, what type of snail am I gonna be?" Okay, well, I like Meow Mitake, the other one, Sil Plain, and Lan Zhuzong, and they're all pink, like light pink focused. So I'm gonna do light pink. What's a light pink snail? Oh, ram's horns come in light pink, and they have like almost like that seashell pink where it's like
Yeah.
light pink, but like that little. It's almost like a light salmon. Which I've definitely started now that I'm more established in idol. I definitely started portraying my color as more light salmon. Now that I've established myself as a pink idol, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I can go more specific. So, and then it people liked the snail a lot. So it worked out. Saliagos actually comes from the Greek word for snail, Senengati, and a combination of my own last name. So it's basically translates to land of the snail.
Wow. That's actually
Um,
that's a cool last name. Not gonna lie. And
I really like entomology and entomology and I can't remember the en-
etymology, I think.
so, yes, thank you. I'm like, why can't I remember the word right now? Yes, and I also came up with the pun snidel, based off idole and snail, and you know, it's stuck.
Yeah, and I mean it worked perfectly because people can chant "Ore no Snidel." it,
Mhm. It
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 fits in literally like so perfectly.
hmm we all we all are snails.
But I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, it's definitely it was the first thing. Like, did I mention to you that I saw you perform uh at Katsu last year?
Last year, oh okay. I was like, please don't say when I debuted. No, you were there that early in the morning.
Yeah, yeah, I was there.
Oh.
Yeah, I was there because I was helping out. Shout out Jay Strawberry Skies and Thomas
Mhm,
Celestia Idol. I always just say their name like that. But no, because I was
mhm,
helping them out do photos, and I was just like, oh wait,
mhm,
let me sit here first. And I was like, wait, ooh, snail idol concept, and
mhm,
yeah, no, definitely from
mhm,
that I was, that's your name, not just your name, like your performance always stuck in my head
mhm,
for that
mhm.
reason. So,
I'm glad to know about that.
but
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm,
I wish you both you and Nova best of luck when it comes to this re-debut. I know it's definitely a daunting task trying to
mhm,
just keep like a group around that's been like around for like so many years and trying to find
mhm.
like I guess a way to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. But I
Yeah, of course.
I think I have the utmost confidence that you guys will be able to do it, and I'd love to see you guys come to somewhere that I will be attending and or working. So yeah, like I'm
You know,
definitely excited.
maybe someday, maybe if you have connections.
maybe for maybe if I at Ashes enough, I'm like Ashes Idol Village now. Yeah.
Let the snail in.
Let the snail in. All right, and I guess with that, that pretty much wraps up this episode of IDOLEYEZ. Thank you again for taking your time to come on the show.
Yeah,
I guess like this is this part of the show where literally just you can shill anything you want. I mean, you've already shilled the album, but like, where can people find you?
mhm,
Where like where are you usually most active on? Like, I guess just how
mhm.
can people interact with you the easiest?
Yeah, so to start for the group, you can find us on Instagram at Vivariia, spelled Vivaria. And then you can find us on Twitter and TikTok under Vivariia Idols, just Vivariia with Idols. And sorry, I forgot to mention, you can also find us on YouTube, just under Vivariia. But yeah, and then all of my personal Instagram and Twitter are Fraga Saliagos, Fragagos. Why could I forget how to spell right there?
No, it's very difficult. It's very difficult trying to spell something out loud. Don't worry.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah.
Let me
If you
spell it
guys,
out in Coptic.
so yeah, if you guys enjoyed this episode, hadn't heard of Fraga before, hadn't heard of Vivariia before, go follow literally right now. No,
Mhm.
bro did not forget their own name. It's just very difficult to spell. I forget to how to spell my own name sometimes. Don't worry. Anyway, thank you again for joining me on this episode of Idolize, episode 82. If you missed any part of this, or you want to catch up on older episodes, you can. The VOD should be up tomorrow on, again, this youtube.com/@idolize101. I do not know if or when I will have another guest, so we'll figure that out later. But
if Eggy will be back before that.
if Eggy will take control of his child again,
He just comes with it's just the back, instead of him, it's just the Checky covering.
He's just like, "Hi, I'm Eggy Draco." Oh boy. So with that, thank you again for joining us for this episode of Idolize, and till next time, we'll meet you back here, same idle time, same idle place, right here on Idolize. And ending screen.
Thank you.